function of the Jacksonville Beach Special Magistrate hearing in accordance with Florida Statutes, Chapter 162, and the City of Jacksonville Beach Code of Ordinances is to reach an equitable expedition to enforce the codes. The city presents the violation and evidence to the special magistrate. Next, the property owner is sworn in and responds to the violation and/or evidence. Both the city and the property owner may call witnesses to provide sworn testimony relevant to the case. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, not a public forum. Individuals not called as sworn witnesses will not be heard.
Good afternoon. My name is Wayne Flowers. I serve as Special Magistrate for the City of Jacksonville Beach. Presumably we're all here today for the Special Magistrate hearings. We have 3 matters on our agenda today. In a moment we'll begin calling the cases. When we do, if you are here on a matter, the city will first present the facts and essentially the city side of the case on any violation. If you were here either because you were the property owner or representing the property owner or the party in interest on one of these matters, you will be given an opportunity, you will be sworn in, you'll be given an opportunity then to respond and present any evidence that you have on the matter. And you can ask questions as well at that time. So with that, Ms. Robinson, are you going to be calling or presenting the first case?
I will be presenting the first case, Your Honor, and I'll proceed as you deem, preferable today. I have before us a binder, which will be the city's evidence, documentary evidence. I have that available to submit to you.
And for the record, we're calling case number 21-513.
I will put the same packet of information at the witness stand for all of the witnesses to have available to them or we're referring to throughout the hearing. And I'm asking the court, and I know this is not a court, but I'm going to ask if you would just let me know how you prefer me to move forward at this point. So I can proffer the city's evidence and make my witness available for cross-examination either by the business owner or the court, or I can have her come before the body and then testify under oath with respect to all the evidence that we're trying to establish today. So is that your preference at this point?
Yeah, I believe, Ms. Robinson, I prefer just to hear your case and then allow the respondent, which I assume is Ms. Corsi, to then respond to that. And then if you have any rebuttal, additional evidence you want to put in light of whatever might be presented, you can certainly give that opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And so with that, I would like to call my witness, my first witness, Ms. Jody Lynn Bird.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and your position.
Jody Lynn Bird, Deputy City Clerk for the City of Jacksonville Beach, and certified Florida business tax official.
How long have you been employed by the City of Jacksonville Beach, ma'am?
Approximately 7 years.
And do your duties include working with the city's local business tax receipt program?
Yes,
How long have you been working within that program?
since my employment, so approximately 7 years.
And would you please, just for purposes of just informing the court and those who are here present with us, what is the local business tax receipt and what is its purpose?
The local business tax receipt is required for any business or person conducting business within the City of Jacksonville Beach. There's an application process that's required that includes an application, articles of incorporation, or miscellaneous documentation depending on the type of business. Once that information is received from the city clerk's office, it's passed on to the planning and developing department for zoning approval. Fees are attached to each of the local business tax receipts depending on the type of business. And it is a tax that is renewed once a year, fiscal year.
Okay, so
would it be fair to say that after the application process, there's the receipt that's issued, right?
Correct, yes.
And on that receipt would be the time frame that it would be in effect. Is that correct as well?
Correct, the beginning and expiration date.
I'd like to have you to turn to page or tab number 1 in our binder. Now, in your role with the LBTR program here in the city, did you have occasion to come in contact with either Deanne Corsi or Beach Girl Tumblers?
Her application was submitted to the city clerk's office on April 23rd, 2019.
Okay. And at the time she submitted that application, did she identify the location from which it would be operating?
Correct, her home address is listed on the application.
And what is that, please?
202 Jardin Demir Place.
Did she indicate to you on the application what the business activity would be?
It is listed as decorated stainless steel tumblers.
All right, and we have learned that she sells those. Is that a correct statement?
Correct.
That the application that was issued there caused actually a tax receipt to be issued. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Would you turn to exhibit number 2? Is that the receipt that was issued to her upon her application?
Yes.
And the expiration date was September 30, 2019?
Correct.
Has Ms. Corsi obtained either through her name or Beach Girl Tumblers a LBTR since September 30, 2019?
No.
Can a business be exempt from that process?
Nonprofit organizations and other circumstances allow certain businesses to be exempt from the fees, not from the application process.
So to be entitled to an exemption, you would still have to apply for that, correct?
Correct, yes.
And the receipt that is issued would show that it was exempt on the actual receipt itself.
Correct.
And at any point in time, did Ms. Corsi apply for an exemption either in her name or Beach Girl Tumblers' name?
No.
Your Honor, without any objection, I would offer exhibits 1 and 2 as part of the city's evidence.
Any objections to those exhibits? They are admitted.
Thank you. Now, when you were explaining the local business tax receipt, we did not get into when those receipts are due if you've already had one issued. So if you would walk back with me onto that particular issue and please inform the court at what point in time in the calendar year does the city usually send out reminder notifications relative to the local business tax receipt?
Local business tax receipts go by fiscal year. They begin October 1st of the year, and they expire September 30th of the following year. The city clerk's office sends out renewal notices the first week of August of every year to every single business or person that has a local business tax receipt for renewal purposes. And they have until September 30th, which is the expiration date, to pay their renewal fee, their annual renewal fee.
Okay, and so if they don't pay it by September 30th, on October 1, they're deemed delinquent by our records. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, so since October 1, 2019, again, has Ms. Corsi either renewed her business tax receipt or made arrangements to come in and pay for it?
No.
If she was engaged in business from October 1, 2019, would she have been required to have that LBTR?
Yes.
And do we know for a fact she was engaged in business from October 1, 2019?
Yes, according to her social media accounts for Beach Girl Tumblr on
turn to tab number 3, please? Okay. Would you go through those pages behind tab 3, and can you identify what you see in that particular binder section?
These are photos, screenshots from various days on our social media account, either Instagram or Facebook, showing a booth set up selling products at different locations, some within Jacksonville Beach and some are not within Jacksonville Beach. There's pictures posted assuming of her home of products being made, and there's also different comments about selling products and where she would be located selling these products.
You mentioned that these are social media postings. Are these postings that you personally saw yourself online
Yes,
and you printed out the screen?
yes,
So these photographs are true and accurate depictions of the postings that you saw online?
yes.
And in tab 3, those were locations and also dates she would be making available to the public, the purchase of her material?
Yes.
Okay. Would you please turn to tab number 2? So after September 30, 2019, if she was engaged in selling, she would have needed at least one LBTR that carried her from October 1, 2019 to September 30, 2020. Do we have any evidence that she was engaged in business activity from the city of Jacksonville Beach after September 30, 2020?
Yes, and tab 4 is the same thing. It's screenshots from online social media postings from Facebook and Instagram, again showing a booth set up for selling products and post advertising the selling of her products.
And you saw those postings yourself on social media?
Yes,
So they are true and accurate depictions of the posts you saw?
yes,
And you made the screen copy?
yes,
Now, she would have needed a LBTR for October 1, 2021 through September 30, 2022, if she was still engaged in business. Is that correct?
yes.
And if you would you please turn to tab number 5? Would you identify what evidence or pictures that you see after tab 5?
Again, pictures from social media accounts, Instagram and Facebook of a booth set up with products being sold to the public at local Jacksonville Beach events and other events.
Same questions as before. You personally saw these postings online,
Correct.
and the photographs that you see at the tabs are true and accurate depictions of the posts you saw.
Correct.
You made those screen copies.
Yes.
Isn't it true that also within the time frame of October 1, 2021 and September 30, 2022, you personally observed her selling her wares?
Yes, the March 13th, 2022, 904 pop-up event, it's called. It's a regular vendors market held at Jacksonville Beach, just outside here at Lakeland Plaza. I personally attended that event and saw Beach Girl Tumblr's booth set up with customers in it.
Ms. Bird, after the LBTR expired in September 30, 2019, did you, individually or in your role as the deputy clerk working with the LBTR program for the city, ever have any direct engagement with Ms. Corsi regarding her need to get a new LBTR for her sales?
As with any business, it is standard practice for the city clerk's office to reach out to individual businesses that have not paid or renewed their local business tax receipt every year. We'll reach out to them via email or phone calls. But yes, emails back and forth from Ms. Corsi stating that she is doing this as crafting, and she wasn't sure if she was required or needed to have the local business tax receipt. And the email response was explaining that she does, since she is selling the products, and for her to contact the city clerk's office or to come in to the city hall to discuss it.
Okay, I'll direct you to tab number 7 in the binder. And we'll come back to number 6, Magistrate Flowers. So at tab 7, there are a series of emails. Were those the emails to which you just referred in your testimony?
Yes,
And the email address through which you communicated with Ms. Corsi, was that the email address that was on her application for an LBTR, which is in tab 1?
yes,
And she in fact engaged you and explained at that time she just didn't think that the tax applied to her.
correct.
Let's go back to tab number 6, please. Now, we talked about her evidence of her doing business between various periods in time that were divided by fiscal years. She's still doing business as far as we have information. Is that a correct statement?
Yes,
And in fact, we actually had her serve with a notice of her delinquency at a pop-up event that occurred after October 1, 2022. Is that correct?
yes,
And she would have, in order to be lawfully selling at that event, she would have needed an LBTR effective October 1, 2022 through September 30, 2023. Is that correct?
correct,
And she doesn't have one, right?
correct.
In addition to the emails to which you've testified, did there come a time when the clerk's office sent a code enforcement officer to serve notices of her violation on her personally?
Yes, on July 28th of 2020, Ms. Nikki Beavers, who is our code enforcement officer for the city of Jacksonville Beach, went to Ms. Percy's house to deliver a letter, a notice of letter, or letter notice, and I believe had conversation with her at that time.
And that email is at the last page of tab 7, is that correct? Maybe I wasn't good.
One moment, sorry. Yes,
Okay. And again, there was an exchange where she said she just didn't think the tax applied to her.
yes, Ms.
Okay.
Yes,
In addition to sending the code enforcement officer, we've also represented through tab 6 that she was personally served by the fire marshal. In addition to those efforts, did the clerk utilize its office or the city attorney's office to send more formal notification to Ms. Corsi regarding the status of her account?
yes,
And were those efforts located as presented under tab 8 in the binder?
yes,
So the first letter is dated March 15, 2022, and that was under your signature. Is that a correct statement?
yes,
And then there's the letter from the city attorney's office on May 5, 2022.
correct.
You've indicated that if the LBTR is not purchased or renewed by September 30 of any given year on October 1, that account becomes delinquent for the next year. Is that correct?
Yes,
And if the LBTR is delinquent, is there a penalty that can be imposed on the business in addition to the taxes due?
yes, each month of delinquency, up to 25% late fees are charged monthly, and after 150 days of delinquency, an additional $250 fee is added onto the original payment, including the late fees.
Would you repeat that one more time?
Yes, sir. The local business tax receipt amount in this case is $79.20 each month after delinquency, a late fee is charged, a late penalty is charged, resulting in a total of $99 being due, which includes the late fees.
So just to put that factually into context, with the $79.20 LBTR fee, the $19.80 represents the 25% penalty, is that correct?
Correct.
And so that's how we got to $99?
And then additionally, after 150 days of delinquency, the city adds a one-time penalty fee of $250.
So for the LBTR that Corsi Beach Roll tumblers should have purchased for October 1, 2019 through September 30, 2020, we're asking the court to impose the fee of $99, which is the fee plus the 25% plus $250. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then, based on the testimony that she also continued to conduct business from October 1, 2020 through September 30, 2021, we're asking basically for the same numbers, $99 and $250.
Correct.
With respect to the receipt that should have been paid and due on October 1, 2021 through October 30, 2022, but was not obtained, same amounts due, $99 plus $250.
Yes, ma'am.
And the testimony was she was still engaged in business after October 1, 2022, and we know that by the service of the notice at the pop-up event on October 7, 2022. What would she owe for October 1, 2022 through the present?
Through present would be $99.
We haven't reached the 150 days for that $250 penalty, correct?
Correct.
Right. So based on my calculation, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we're looking at a total of $1,146 for penalties and unpaid LBTRs.
Correct.
Okay. And Your Honor, in addition to that, I mean, I would be happily to put myself under oath. We would also try to get some of our attorney's fees back. There's a provision that allows for the recovery of reasonable attorney's fees.
I'll hit that in a second, but Ms. Bird, I just want to be clear. It's $99 plus $250 for 2020, 2021, 22.
So 2021, fiscal
If you
21.
would give me the fiscal year, the amount, because I know the current fiscal year was 99, there aren't any penalties yet,
Right.
yes.
Correct.
So, yeah, I was going to say fiscal 20, which would be the 19 to 20, would be the 99 plus 250. The fiscal 21 would be 99 plus 250. That ran from October 20, to 21. Fiscal 22 is 99 plus 250.
And then 99 for fiscal 23.
That's correct. And that's all the questions I have at this time.
Okay. Well, Ms. Rollins, let me do this first. Ms. Corsi, are you Ms. Corsi?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions of Ms. Bird about any of the testimony that she's given to this point?
I don't think so.
Okay. Before you stand up, Ms. Robinson, could you give me your testimony about the attorney fees?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and your position.
Sandra Robinson, I'm the city attorney. And with respect to the provision that allows for the recovery of reasonable attorney's fees, I wanted to just represent to the court that I have committed several hours to the preparation of this case, although it's simple. And to the extent that I was carefully tracking my time, 5.75 hours at an hourly rate, this is my hourly rate as paid by the city of Jacksonville Beach, is $85.54.
What was the hourly rate, I'm sorry?
$85.54 for a total of $491.85. And with respect to the reasonableness of this request, I've been practicing law for over 30 years. I've been a local government attorney for more than 2 decades. I've represented private businesses in governments and collection activity, business litigation, and I think 54 per hour is reasonable.
Okay.
Thank you.
And again, this, of course, do you have any questions of Ms. Robinson about the testimony she gave about her time expended in the attorney's fees?
No, sir.
So, Ms. Robinson, do you have any other testimony at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Corsi, you want to come forward? I'm going to ask the clerk to swear to you, and then I'm going to have a couple of questions of you first, and then I'm going to allow you to present your testimony.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and your address.
Deanne Corsi, 202 Jardine Demir Place, Jacksonville Beach, Florida, 32250.
All right, just a couple of questions. Ms. Corsi, are you the managing member of Beach Girl Tumblers LLC?
Yes.
And the registered address of that business, is that 202 Jardine Demir Place, Jacksonville Beach?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Give me 1 second. All right, Ms. Corsi, anything that you want to present to me now about what you heard about this violation? It's your time for this.
Okay. I started making tumblers back in 2018 or 2019, I can't remember exactly. Then I thought I decided to go ahead and start selling out at the beach and thought I was doing the right thing by getting a business license. So I went downtown to Jacksonville, which I've been told now that I probably didn't need to do that. So I went downtown to Jacksonville, paid fees, and got my LLC. And then I got a notice
Pardon me, you went down where?
to downtown Jacksonville.
City of Jacksonville, not
Yes.
Jacksonville Beach.
Correct.
Go ahead.
And then later I received a letter in the mail stating that I needed to pay something to Jacksonville Beach. So I then came in and learned that I had to do that and did that. In the meantime, life changed. My daughter's a drug addict, she had children, and then I was taking care of babies.
Yeah.
I have expressed to her that I am not doing this as a business. I'm just crafting. It's just a little bit of supplemental income because I now have adopted my grandchildren and they're 5 and 6 years old. I don't have time to run a business. I looked back at my folder because I write down where I've been. I've been in Jacksonville Beach working 30 times for the past 2 years. I don't know how a business can succeed working 30 times.
When you say you work 30 times.
The pop-up events or the art shows. I do arts and crafts shows out there.
That's over the period between 2019 and the present? So just to clarify for the record, make it clear, your principal place of the, whether you call it crafting or business, is your address at Jordan Demere Place in Jacksonville Beach, is that right?
Yes, I make crafts there.
And you have sold your materials, from what you said, at 30 events in the period between January of 2020 and October 2nd of 2022,
Yes, sir.
is that right? Okay. Anything else that you want to tell me?
I have all those people that have come to see me that she stated, I discussed with every one of them. They do not understand why this lady is going after me. I've never met her. I have no idea. She has harassed me. I kept telling all of them I was going to go to the city manager's office because she calls me, she texts me, she writes me on my Instagram acting like she wants to purchase something from me. And I have screenshots of that too. And I don't know who she is.
Okay. When you say this person, you talking about Ms. Berg?
Yes.
Okay. You realize it's her job to,
To harass people?
it's her job to find out if people are in business who have not paid business receipts tax.
But I told her that I'm not in business. I'm not a business.
Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Do you have anything else,
I
Ms.
have-
Robinson?
I have one question, at least starting out with one. Ms. Corsi, is it true that you dissolved the LLC that you formed in 2019?
I don't know how to do that. I did mention Sundays. I've never went back and redone my license downtown. I don't know how to dissolve it. I just assumed if you don't renew it, it's gone.
It's gone, right. So if there's no objection, Your Honor, I'd like to introduce this evidence because, again, we've had an LLC that was on the application, and we have asked for these penalties to be imposed personally and/or on the entity. So
Yeah.
this shows that it's appropriate to the individual. Thank you. And I have no more questions.
So what you handed me indicates that the LLC was administratively dissolved on September 25th of 2020.
Yes, sir. And so we, if you look at our cases, style Deanne Corsi doing business as Beach Club Tumbler. So we just wanted to make sure that was clear based on, of course, earlier questions about the LLC.
All right. Let me ask you one more question, Ms. Robinson. The last instance in which, based on the materials that you provided to me, that there was evidence of sales activity going on was in, I thought I wrote down October of 2022.
That's correct.
Is
And
that right?
yes, sir. And that would be tab number 6. The fire marshal's affidavit indicates that he served her notice while she was actually selling at the pop-up event, and I believe she just testified that she was selling as recently as October 2022.
Right. If a person ceases business activities at some point before the end of the fiscal year, are they entitled to receive, or is there a payment less than the full amount that is potentially payable by the person? And where I'm going with that simply is, Ms. Corsi's indicated that she stopped doing business
Right.
in October, and October is the last time that the city has evidence that there was sales activity going on. And that certainly invokes the need to have a license for fiscal 22-23. My question is, I guess, is the fee ultimately impacted if a business owner ceases doing business after the first year of the fiscal year?
Sure. I think that's a great question, but let me just sort of share with the court what I heard the witness say. And I heard her say that she hadn't done anything in Jacksonville Beach in terms of selling since October 2022. She still operates outside of her house, so she could literally be at one of these many other places between October 2022 and today, and that still would be a true statement, but she's still engaged in business from this location. With respect to the fee question, however, our code provides for a proration under a limited circumstance, and it's really based on the timing of the application, not tied in any way to when you stop doing business. So as long as she was still doing business October 1, she really sort of invoked the fee that was necessary for fiscal 2023.
And so let me, just to clarify, because that your point was a good one about the distinction between what she said. I didn't catch that. So, Ms. Corsica, I understand you still produce the tumblers and sell them in other places. You're just not selling them in Jacksonville Beach.
Correct.
Okay. All right. First, I want to commend you for adopting your grandchildren. I think that is a wonderful thing that you've done, a big sacrifice. Unfortunately, I don't think your understanding or distinction between being a crafter and what the code says about a person being engaged in business are the same. I think as Ms. Robinson said at the outset, there are, I believe, 3 exemptions from the ordinance. And I haven't heard any evidence that you fall under any of those exemptions. And so otherwise, if you were engaged in an activity that you're charging people money for selling goods, and the principal place of business is in Jacksonville Beach, which is where the LLC is located, then in my judgment, you are subject to the business receipts tax. So what I will do is I'm going to enter an order that finds that you are subject to the tax, and if the tax is unpaid. I'm going to consider the issue of attorney's fees. I haven't made a decision on that, but I'll take a look at the ordinance and
Thank you.
try to see how that falls there. But the order will give you 30 days to pay the amounts due. That total was,
It was
you gave me the total and I apologize.
$11.46, $1,146.
So what is the difference between a business and a crafter and a person that does garage sales?
There's no definition of a crafter in the city ordinance.
Okay, so what is a business? Because I'm not
A
making
business.
money, I stopped. I'm not making any money. You can look at
You
the.
charge
it's
people
nice.
money for the tumblers,
I did, yes.
then
I
that-
paid say, example, I pay $150 to go to Niagara for pop-up and I made $100. I did not make any money.
not making a profit is not the definition of whether it's a business or not.
Mhm. I mean, I'm not business.
Unless you are a registered nonprofit and you are engaged in a charitable effort, and that doesn't sound like that's what you're doing. So, again, you can make a decision whether it's worthwhile to continue to do it, given the responsibilities you have for paying a business receipts tax. If you're not making money out of it, that's a choice
So
that
what
you
is
can
it,
make
just
and anyone can
$79
make.
a year? That's all you guys want?
I'm
Is that
sorry?
what this is about, $79 a year? Just to sell something? Is that, I mean, I'm asking,
That is
Is
what
that all
business
that's
receipts
required?
tax is under the ordinance. And yes, if you're engaged in business, as part of doing business, you have to pay that amount and pay it timely, or otherwise you'll have penalties for not paying it timely. And so, yes, that is what it requires to be compliant.
how am I different from everybody else out there?
I can't tell you that everybody who is engaged in business, whose businesses are located in the city of Jacksonville Beach, are compliant. I can only adjudicate the cases that come before me. In this case, as I've already indicated, the facts suggest to me that the business tax was due, it's not been paid, and therefore, the city is entitled to be paid the fee. I would, you know, I can't tell the city unless you tell every person who's not complying with this law in the city of Jacksonville Beach, then nobody has to pay. You know, if that were the case, then the police department could never issue a speeding ticket. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that couldn't occur because everybody is not necessarily going to get, you know, brought before a court or a special magistrate for compliance. So again, I am sorry that your understanding is not a correct one, but again, I think the facts that have been presented and the way I read the ordinance, you are responsible for paying the fee, and therefore the city's entitled to an order that the fee be paid for the fiscal years in which you've done business. And if Ms. Coursey makes the decision on going out of business, what would she need to present to the city to, or do in order to so that, you know, no further fees accrue, or so she didn't get contacted again, assuming she is legitimately going to cease her business. And I don't know that she's going to do that. I'm just so that she knows that she can make a decision on that.
Well, I'll defer to the clerk's office, but unfortunately, when we reached out to her, that was never really sort of the representation. It was always, I'm out of business for these purposes, and it was always, I'm out of business for these purposes. And so I'm not really sure if there will be anything more than just a declaration that I'm out of business. And then if there was at any point in time evidence to the contrary, then we might be where we are now. But that was never articulated, sir.
Understood.
Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Coursey? All right. Thank you.
So what do I do? Do I leave? Am I gonna get something in the mail?
You'll get an order, yes, ma'am. From me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Thank you, Ms. Rhodes. Ms. Beavers?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
What is our next case?
Our next case is going to be case number 22-610. And, I'm sorry. We're gonna skip 22-610 and make that one last. Mr. Palomir is not present today. So we will go to case C, which is 22, that is correct, 22-610, Duck Dive, doing business as Mangoes at 602 First Street North. And
Sorry to interrupt, but it's reading it. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and your position.
Nikki Beaver, City of Jacksonville Beach, Code Enforcement Officer.
Okay.
For this property, the violation was not having proper screening around the dumpster on the property. The Land Development Code, Section 34-425B3 requires the screening of dumpsters in solid waste container areas. All should have screening if it is visible from either side of the street, visible to the public, or wait, that's off the premises. I have sent notices to the property and hand-delivered notices. I have not received any responses. I did meet with the property owner today, Robert Tilka, and I would like to go ahead and call him up to the front.
Okay.
Tilka. Tilka,
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and your address.
Robert Tilka, 3584 Trident Court, Jacksonville Beach, 32250.
can see on the, pictures that I have listed, I did a follow-up inspection on January 24th to see if the violations had been complied. They were still in non-compliance. This is from the front of the property. As you can see, the dumpster to the far right is unscreened. This is a close-up picture on the second photo, and then this is another view from the side street where you are able to see the dumpster from both sides. And this is in the rear of the business. And so under the code, it states that the screening has to be at least 2 feet or taller.
Above the highest part of the
Yes.
container. Okay, Mr. Chilka,
So, yes, sir.
you own the property, at, 602 First Street North?
Yes, sir.
And is Duck Dive are they a tenant?
No, Duck Dive is the owner of the property, and then I have another company called Jack's Paris that manages the business itself.
All right, so is Duck Dive a corporation, an LLC?
It's a corporation, LLC.
And you are the managing member of that LLC?
I am.
Okay, Mr. Chilka, tell me, what's up with this?
Okay, so I did get the notice from Ms. Beavers, and I attempted to contact her back, but I know she's very busy out in the field. And then I received another, probably within about 30 days, something from Frank, and I can't pronounce it.
Sure.
Yeah, I got it from him, and I immediately called him and told him that, hey, listen, I need a little bit of time because I'm looking on doing a rezoning for that entire half block. I didn't want to spend money to, within the next, how long of a time frame, how long it takes for our rezoning, to tear it back down, to move the dumpster and go from there. That dumpster's been there for, well, I don't want to say longer than I've been alive, since '60, but it's been in that same spot just about forever. It's never been screened in, never been enclosed. I have no problem with going back and doing that, but I would like to see if I could get a little bit of time to CFR rezoning that we're getting ready to submit, that we have architects spending tons of money to do, can go through. I mean, we keep it pretty cleaned up around it. I mean, I have a yard guy that comes out, once a week, picks up all the trash in the area, blows off the driveway and cleans it up. But I'm hoping soon that we get something through the city to do a rezoning on the entire half block. And I didn't want to spend money without doing that. And I did talk to Frank, and he said, I can't remember what was happening. I think it was just the holidays or what was going on. And I know they're both super busy going to Jacksonville and everything. But I just looked for a little bit of time if I could. I don't want to spend the money to tear back down. And this isn't there's renderings of what has to be done. This is not first of all, I wouldn't build it halfway. I wouldn't build it someplace I got fixed. It wouldn't be out of wood. It would be out of cement, concrete blocks. To do all that is a huge expenditure right now with supply and demand on things. But the plan is to move it out of there, to get it out of there to just get the zoning approved.
What, and how soon is this rezoning going to be submitted?
Uh,
Let me ask two questions.
Okay.
How soon is the rezoning going to be submitted, and how soon will the redevelopment occur after?
I know that, I asked my partner, there's something being worked with Joe Crump in his department right now. We had to change to because we're going to try to add a bathroom outside. I can't add a bathroom to Mango's without getting the entire area rezoned. So we're working through that process. So I would hope within the next 90 days to have something submitted to the city, and I'm working on it. But the city has a lot of plans and stuff in it now, so I'm not sure how long that time frame is to get it approved, or if it has to go through the city council for rezoning. I believe it does have to go through city council for rezoning, just confirmed. So, but it is a half a block.
Well, is the idea that it's all going to get torn down, or everything torn down?
There's just to the, let me get my bearings here, hold on here. Beaches, and that's north. So just to the north of Mangoes, there's 3 houses that we'd like, offices, that we'd like to demolish. Yeah, just to the left here.
So,
Yeah, just that. Knock those down and then rework the parking and the traffic. It's a beautiful 2-story building we want to do. We want to go to the north side of the Mangoes building and add bathrooms and possibly some stairs to possibly engage a rooftop on top of Mangoes. And that dumpster would be moved over to the other properties that we tear down. And it would have kind of like they have where cement around where the truck comes, you don't see it. You never see one side of it. And yeah, just to the west would be the main demolition. The whole area would be reworked. Because I want to add bathrooms inside and then on the north side of the building outside in the parking lot area, take up a couple parking spaces and some steps and possibly a lift tower for an elevator to go up to the rooftop. And that's all in the planning processes now. I know that we've had some preliminary plans drawn, but I know that they're very close to being completed.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Sheehan?
It's okay. No, you're fine, you're fine. Well, we had Frank's name here. Again, I try to comply with whatever Fire Marshal Steve says and the police and all that. And by the way, I guess, I don't know if you saw the Chief of Police big announcement today. Great job by them, getting the guy. So I try to abide by all the rules and everything. I'm not here to prolong or make anybody's job worse. I mean, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, but I prefer to wait if I could.
Okay, Ms. Beavers, how much patience does the city have in terms of?
I would say only to give the additional 30 days to get the rezoning application in. The planning director, Heather Ireland, is present. She can probably speak on what the time process would be as far as how long it would take for that application once it's been submitted.
Can I just ask if,
Sure.
I'd want to make a phone call to find out how close they are to having the plans turned in. I don't want to say 30 days, and I'm back for 30 days asking for another 30. I can call and make a phone call, see how close they are. I know they're very close. They had Joe Loretto and some other people working on finishing up whatever Joe Loretto does, this thing. So I don't know if it's 30 days before, I don't want to have to come back in front of you to ask one more time.
Hold on for just a second. Let's hear from the planning and zoning.
Ready to be sworn in?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and your position.
Heather Ireland, I'm the Director of the Planning and Development Department. So I can kind of give you a timeline of what a rezoning application might look like.
Let me just ask, are you
Sure.
aware that there is this plan to rezone this?
No, we haven't met with them yet.
Okay.
So there's a lot of steps involved for a rezoning, from start to finish, start being a meeting with myself and staff, to finish being second reading of an ordinance by city council. You're talking at least 6 months. There's a lot of statutory and local land development regulation requirements in terms of public notice. Has to go through the Community Redevelopment Agency for approval and the Planning Commission, and 2 readings of city council as an ordinance. So that's assumed application, which usually takes 30 to 60 days just to kind of work out any kinks in the application because there are so many requirements. So even if we were to say he submits an application in 30 days, you're talking 6 months after that. So it is a long process just because of all the steps you have to
I
go through.
understand.
Yeah.
All right. You just need to step outside to call to see when you can get the application submitted. Now we'll pause for a minute.
Perfect, thank you. I was just told they would be turned into y'all or a meeting set with y'all within the next 45 days. and I assume that's, roll up plans, here's what we got, here's what we want to do, you guys look through and go, kind of like we did with the other properties, you gotta do this, you gotta have that. So in 45 days, we'll have something submitted to the city.
So, Ms. Beavers, would you object to having 60 days in order saying finding the violation, 60 days to submit an application?
Based on the testimony from the planning director, my recommendation being that she stated that the process is gonna be 6 months, and then even after the application process is complete, still would have to go through the rezoning, the building being torn down or whatever. At that time, it's gonna be a lengthy process, so my recommendation is to still go ahead and have the dumpster screened during that time.
Can I ask a question, Your Honorship?
Yes.
So, that dumpster has sat there for a minimum 20 years. Minimum. I'm gonna say 20, it's probably 30. And now, we can't wait, to let the process roll through to do this. I mean, I keep it clean. I had a dumpster replaced with a newer dumpster. I get people dumping their trash in my trash. Even if I put a gate on, they're still throwing it over and missing it, but I still clean all that up. But I can't wait a little bit longer when something's been there for that long. I mean, I can't add on to my building, unless I get a zoning to add bathrooms, or help handicap people get in, or go to the bathroom properly. But I gotta replace the screen around the dumpster?
Well, the only thing I would tell you is that the process, the time involved in it is indeterminate. The outcome is indeterminate. And based on that, I mean, I don't know that we could,
It is
without
not
the
a
city's
guarantee.
recommendation, that we just hold it open for an indefinite period of time until the rezoning occurs.
Well, I mean, give us at least till we submit our plans, so you see our plans, and then after 60 days go, okay, great, these plans look good, the building department has said yes, go. I mean, again, it's always about time and money, right? But that dumpster has sat there for quite some time. And for us, we put a rule in, by the way, I need to get a handicap bathroom. I'll move the dumpster, I'll put it in my backyard. If I can get bathrooms for handicapped people in a wheelchair to go to the bathroom, I'm just trying to rezone so I can make it right. Anything else, Mr. Beavers?
Yes, as far as how long it's been visible, that I have not been with Jack's Beach, so I can't say how long it's been, unscreened or if it's ever been screened, but based on what the requirements are for any commercial business, here at Jack's Beach, the requirement does state that they have to have the screening around the dumpster, and as Mr. Tilka just stated, it keeps people, it limits them as far as throwing trash, having trash all around it, and thank you for keeping it clean, because I do know how people will use it for their own personal use, but that's the whole, main purpose of keeping it screened so that others will not have access to it.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, because I have other businesses in Jack's Beach, and there's other dumpsters that are proper, that have the cement around them, that we use at Shim Sham Room, Surfer, Optinger, that they're screened in properly, but people are still using that as well. And we send our people out to clean those up. So I don't know if we're doing this just to stop people from throwing trash in our bin. I'll make sure daily I clean it up.
I mean, it's for aesthetics too, as far as the
It's
look.
just aesthetics, just
Yeah.
so people aren't looking at the dumpster.
It's a dive bar that people have been looking at for 30 years. I'm pretty confident that,
And there's not a time frame to state when this rezoning application may be approved or not. So, like I said, it's a lengthy process. And even if it's, a temporary screening that meets everything that the ordinance, requires in there, that would just, comply the violation.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find that there's a violation, require that the screening occur within 4 months. That'll give you some time, you can make a decision as to whether to do something temporary.
Okay.
See where your development is at that point, and then, conversation with the.
Okay, that's awesome, I appreciate it. If you're okay with 4 months, that's perfect. I mean, I'll have some, am I allowed to go back and go, hey, we're 4 months into this process with the city of Jacksonville Beach, and Heather gives it a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 getting done, we can discuss okay, it'll be done in 2 months or something after that 4 months? And I'm
not
not getting
getting
it.
that, and I'm
I'm
asking
asking-
the speakers will either.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give some time where.
No, I appreciate that.
You can get your process going, but if you're gonna need to do it, you can get it done, and you can make a choice whether to do something of a more permanent nature or something more temporary nature.
All right.
That meets the code.
No, I thank you, that's awesome, thank you.
I'm splitting the baby a little bit here.
I'm with you.
So we will, a follow-up hearing,
Well, I won't schedule a follow-up hearing, I'll just
to
give
see if he's,
give 4 months to comply.
okay,
And then if the,
Well, I'll follow up
Bring
you
it
before
back.
then, I promise you that. I mean, 45 days, we'll hopefully have everything done, and I'll be able to show you the plans we're doing, we're moving. And maybe if we feel confident about it, we can just wipe that out and move to where it's gonna go to its permanent site and to put it there, that'd be great, thank you.
okay, so by May 25th,
right, May
Okay.
25th, we'll say a date certain, May 25th.
Okay, perfect.
Mr. Tilker, do you have a contact number?
I do, it's 904-465-5280. Can I give you my email also?
Okay,
It's rctilka@gmail.com.
okay.
Thank
And
you.
then
Yeah, and I did,
my contact information was on those numbers as well.
yeah, but I didn't, honestly, I got it and I was like, oh, wait, sometimes then he came in before the 30 days was up, that's why I called him.
Okay,
So,
okay.
all right, cool. All right, thank you, I appreciate your honor.
All right, good luck.
All right, moving on.
I don't see Mr. Palmieri here.
No.
That's a good sign.
His wife had a medical procedure, appointment for today at the exact same time. So he called and stated, that he was not gonna be able to make it, but I do have, some follow-up on his case. I received a phone call from him yesterday. He also came into the office and spoke with the building official, and this is for case number 22-22 at 624 North 6th Avenue.
Mandarin Management.
Yes, Mandarin Management. And this case was in reference to not obtaining a building permit for work that was completed. The stop work order was posted back on February 27th of 2022. Mr. Palomir stated in his phone call that the electrical, the plumbing, and the carpentry had all been completed, but no rough, inspection had been scheduled for the electrical, the electrical was disapproved, and there was no rough inspection for the plumbing.
All right, so let me back up.
Mhm.
My recollection is he did not have a permit. He was
Correct.
gonna need to get a general contractor. There's probably gonna be some opening up that he was gonna need to do
Yes,
to be able to get the permits. So, do I understand that he has not gotten all the permits, or he's gotten the permits, but the work hasn't been completed and inspected yet?
so, with my, conversation with the building official, the permits were all obtained, so he did, comply with that. The part in regards to having the inspectors come and inspect the work before it's, I guess, he needed to open back up what already had been done. That's the part that the building officials have not did an inspection on yet.
So what is your recommendation?
I did, speak with Mr. Palmer and explain to him that we would give him another 30 days. He stated that the contractors would be contacting the building officials now that all of the work was completed, and I'm thinking that he's stating what's needed to be undone is completed, so that the contractors can come back in and do it the correct way with the building official completing their inspections. So he wasn't clear about complete, so, being that they've obtained the permits, we'll just come back in 30 days.
And we just want to schedule it for the February meeting.
Yes.